Hello and welcome to another asynchronous episode. Today we're doing a lesson about human values, and this is in your workbook, page 16 and 17. So let's get started. So we're talking today about the Kuwait Red Crescent Society. As you see in the picture, this is a picture of the building and the society we're talking about today. So, what do you know about Kuwait Red Crescent Society? Let's see together some of the info that you might know. Well, it is a voluntary humanitarian society that provides assistance to people. It helps vulnerable people who need special care and help. It provides assistance to vulnerable people without discrimination based on nationality or ethnicity. The KRCS depends on youth groups and volunteers to carry out many of its activities and programs. The volunteers are deployed wherever they are needed. Also, outside Kuwait, they participate in rescue operations with specialist teams in the aftermath of natural disasters. The aim of the KRCS is to protect and assist people in hardship.
Voluntary.
So the first word of the words that we've seen in red color is this word, to be a volunteer. And this is the meaning, to be done, made, or given willingly without being forced or paid to do.
Vulnerable.
This is the second word, able to be easily physically, emotionally, mentally hurt, influenced, or attacked.
Ethnicity.
So this word means distinctiveness and ethnicity. As you see here, different people of different backgrounds.
Deploy.
To use something or someone, especially in an effective way.
Aftermath.
The word aftermath is what usually happens or results or consequences of an event. As you see here in the picture, the aftermath of the hurricanes.
Hardship.
It means difficulty or suffering caused by a lack of something, especially money. Okay, so these are the words that we need to know to be able to answer the questions here. Now we have three questions after we read the passage. The first one, as you see here, why is the society's name important? B, what are the aims of the Red Crescent Society? And finally, why do you think these actions are carried out by an NGO rather than the government? So when we read this passage, it is in your books, page 16, you'll find that we have two acronyms. The first one is KRCS, and simply you have it here, Kuwaiti Red Crescent Society. And the second one, NGO, or non-governmental organization. So this might help you to understand the questions. So for the first question, why is the society's name important? Why do you think? True, yes, it is. The name here provokes a charity that is concerned with humanitarian aid and based on voluntary work. So from the name, I know the nature of this organization. The second one, what are the aims of the Red Crescent Society? What do they want to achieve? To protect and assist people in hardship and to provide their basic human needs. And finally, why not working through the government or be a governmental organization, and instead they are an NGO? As you might know, that voluntary work requires urgent, quick steps rather than rigid and slow governmental red tape, because in time of disaster, we need quick action. In this second exercise, we need to read again and choose the correct word for these definitions. You are going to find these words on the right from 1 to 10 and in the passage. And what we need to know is to make sure that you know the meaning. So you need to go back to the reading passage and then try to guess or get the meaning of these words. And then you need to match them with the meanings on the left. So for the first one, manpower. Manpower. What do we mean by manpower? Okay, this is the passage. You'll find the word manpower and should be able to have guessed it now. Very good. It's number 4. Unjust or prejudicial treatment. We're going, for example, based on skin color. So we're going to match this with number 4. This is discrimination. All right. The second one, B, seeking to promote human welfare. What does it mean to seek to promote human welfare? This is number 9, international humanitarian. The next one, C, to generate financial support, is to fundraise. To fundraise, number 10 here, we have fundraise is to generate financial support. You want to raise money for a special cause. The next one, to move something to where it is needed. You need something in or someone in a place and you move it to that place. Very good. It's to deploy. And our next word or definition is to give someone a reason for doing something. You try to motivate. So this is number 7, to motivate. The next one, the people available for work. All right, yes, this is number 1, or number 1, manpower is people available for work. And the final one would be a global system, often a business or organizations. Very good. This is international network. All right. So let's move on to another exercise here. Those words you have in the passage in exercise 2, manpower, volunteer, foundation, discrimination, committee, deploy, motivation, international network, humanitarian, and fundraise. We need to use these words in examples of your own, make sentences of your own. I helped you here with one. So if we take the word volunteer, we're going to add an S. So it becomes, there is a need for volunteers to assist in this campaign. Okay, so you need people to volunteer, right? You can do it with the rest of the words. Very good. Okay, the next exercise is number 4. Make a list of all adverbs in the reading passage on page 16. This is the reading passage. Then use each one in a sentence of your own. Again, here you need to make sentences of using these adverbs, all right? So if you look closely, you'll find that we have some adverbs. So remember, we said that adverbs, yes, that you studied, adverbs of manner, they end in ly, so it's easy now to find them in the passage. You have officially, thereby, effectively, and particularly. So you can use these words into sentences of your own. The next exercise is about volunteers, people who work, donate their time and their effort to work or to volunteer in the Red Crescent Society. Now, we need to describe the ideal, okay? So, the ideal Red Crescent volunteer, what qualities should he have to do the job? All right. Through your understanding from the text, we can say that the ideal Red Crescent volunteer should be young, okay, because he's going to do hard work, enthusiastic, and compassionate. Also, an ideal volunteer must be kind, efficient, and charitable. Okay. Finally, they should receive first aid or medical training from the Ministry of Health, because sometimes you need to do rescue jobs. Next exercise is number 6, true or false. And we have here those 5 sentences from A to E, we need to know, according to the passage, if they are true or false and why. We need to justify the answer. So here, the KRCS was the first organization of its kind. Was it the first one? Of course not. So this one is false because it joined a pre-existing international group of societies. Now, the second one, B, the KRCS, has a mutually beneficial relationship with the government of Kuwait. That's true. They work with the government, they have relations. We can say perform work that would drain governmental resources. In return, the government gives the volunteers training through the Ministry of Health and other training. Our next sentence is the volunteers for KRCS are extremely kind-hearted individuals. What do you think? True. This is exactly what we said in the paragraph in the previous exercise. So their motivation is compassion and desire to assist those in need. The next statement, D, the only human needs are health care, water supplies, and sustenance. Is this correct? That's true. Well, false. If you notice here, the word only gives you a sense of doubt. So you need to check again. So if you check again, you'll find that according to the article, those are the only needed mentioned in the article, but others might include shelter, companionship, or freedom. These are human needs and they need to be fulfilled. The last statement here, the KRCS is run entirely by volunteers. This is false. Here we have the word entirely. And again, this is gives you a sense of doubt. So you have here why it is supported by volunteers who raise funds and provide manpower, and it's not entirely by volunteers. Our next exercise is a question to you, over to you. Would you want to volunteer for the KRCS or a similar organization? Why or why not? Do you have this motivation and desire to help others in hardship? Or you don't have this, maybe you're not interested or you don't have time? We can say that, yes, of course, if you want to say yes. I believe that with voluntary work, we can make the world a better place. So many students would love to volunteer for the KRCS or a similar organization to provide services to needy families and the helpless in a noble deed. Our religion encourages us to help vulnerable and needy people. Right? That is all